Hello everyone, this is HTS here, back with some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm action. And I just want to say it is actually Christmas at the time of casting this, so we are just going to chill out. We're going to have some fun. We're going to drink lots of eggnog, and we are going to watch some StarCraft. So this is my casual cast. Get the CC going on up in here. And let's go ahead and introduce our players on this fine holiday. On the center left side, it is going to be Cella. He is used to be part of Team Slayers, but since they disbanded, he's just kind of doing his own thing, and also has a very good personality and streams quite a bit. So he's a very fun player to watch. It always seems like the Zerg, man. They always are the crazy ones. So he's going to be on the center left side, and his ally on the right side going to be DanJinwonKim, which I'm actually surprised that name fits. That's got to be down to the character. One of the longest names I think I've seen in StarCraft 2. So I'll probably be calling him Dan. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think calling him by his full name during a cast would be way too many syllables for me to handle. But it is going to be a TvZ. Now, there's something I want to talk about, and I have a captive audience, so I'm gonna talk about it. I was watching a little bit of the StarCraft 2 Pro League. For those of you who do not know what the Pro League is, it is an old school tournament. Used to be for Brood War and then has finally fully transitioned into StarCraft 2. And I just want to say that those maps are the coolest thing that I've ever seen in StarCraft 2. Now, the reason I want to mention those maps is because this map is one map that tries to be like those maps. It's very large. Lots of spawn locations, lots of bases, lots of alternate attack paths, lots of potential for short games, long games, etc. So, you know, it's trying to be there. But the cool thing about the Pro League maps is they got someone who I don't even know making those things, and they are awesome. They have tons of attack paths, tons of potential for rushes, and also long games as well. Lots of bases, and, you know, they just make very aesthetically pleasing maps. So I'm really hoping that for the first season of Heart of the Swarm that Blizzard comes out swinging. They use some of those Heart of the Swarm Pro League maps, or regular Wings of Liberty Pro League maps, and I think if they, number one, if they completely revamp Battle.net. Number two, if they do automated tournaments. Number three, if they keep the unranked ladder. Number four, if they use the awesome Pro League maps. And number five, just make sure to keep focusing on balance. If they can do all that stuff, I think Heart of the Swarm is going to be a lot more popular than it will be if they don't do those things. So I have my fingers crossed. I'm really excited for Heart of the Swarm. There's still a couple months out from releasing Heart of the Swarm. Sorry about the lag. It just happens in beta. At least on my computer, every time I play beta, it lags. But when I cast normal Wings of Liberty, it doesn't lag. So that's all I want to say, guys. If you haven't seen any of the Pro League games, I'm hoping I can cast some games on those maps pretty soon. Of course, I can't cast the Pro League because they do not release their replays, and I can't, you know, just rip their video or anything like that. But just stay tuned for those. Hopefully, we'll be having some of those awesome maps out here. Anyway, Cella's looking like he's going to be expanding here. Notice that we got his barracks first. He wanted to be completely walled in. Can't say I blame him because this map has a huge ramp in comparison to normal games, because you got to remember that on this map, your natural's inside your main base, so they make it difficult to wall off your ramp because you're going to basically be protecting your two bases quite easily there. So normally what would happen is this would be the main base with a small ramp down to the natural, and then a bigger ramp down to either the third base or just an entrance into the open part of the map. So right now we do have Cella's already being funny. Dan was asking, where are you at right now? He's like, you know, I'm at the 9 o'clock position, which, so funny, which he obviously is not at the 9 o'clock. He is at the 3 o'clock. This is why I love them. But if you're wondering why I'm kind of more chill today, it's Christmas. I'm just going to casually cast. I don't want to throw out my voice, but at the same time, I still want to watch some StarCraft. I'm so confused by the patrol pattern. I feel like these units changed. I feel like they changed how patrol works, because usually I think it used to be all at one point, right? And then they, whatever. I don't want to think about it. It's Christmas. You don't have to think. You don't have to do math. You don't have to use logic on Christmas. It's a holiday. My goodness. We do have the factory going to be landing down here for Dan. And is it going to be Widow Mines, or is it going to be Hellions? Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see. The suspense is indeed killing me, although he is supply blocked, so that's kind of unfortunate. Actually, Cella's supply blocked here. And Dan, what are you making? Ah, it's gonna be 2 Hellions. Okay, we'll see if he decides to go ahead and go for that. The Overlord here narrowly surviving 7 HP. Are you kidding me, Overlord? It is a Christmas miracle. Santa Claus Overlord able to survive, bring in the gifts to all the children. You know, the thing that sucks about Santa Claus Overlord is that he just brings poop, that he poops on you. That's the only present that he is allowed to give, unless he is the Overseer Santa Claus, and then he brings a changeling. But either way, I mean, I feel like those are some pretty terrible gifts. No, I take it back. A changeling would be an awesome gift. If you could control it, and it wasn't always spying on you like they normally do, then that would be kind of cool, I suppose. So again, the expansion up here for Dan, got to be up and running. We have the third command store going to be going down right now, and double gas taken, but not quad gas. Not going for 4 gas just yet. We do have the blue flame Hellions on the way, but no starport. So I'm not quite sure what the purpose of this is. I mean, blue flame's always good, but you can't win a game with just pure blue flame Hellions. You can try, but I don't think Cella is going to allow for something like that. I am kind of surprised to see Cella not put these Evo chambers at the entrance. The reason being that you can actually pretty easily lock down an entrance with the Queen and 2 Evo chambers. So he decides not to do that, though. He puts them in a little safer spot back in the base. Notice how he's already started some upgrades. So he's got the +1 armor started a while ago, working on the +1 melee. Now, the thing he's going to have to watch out for, though, is since he is going for a lot of Zerglings and potentially Banelings here, he's got to watch out for those Hellions. I mean, there's really no other way to put it, because right now, Dan has got the counter to what Cella has. So it's going to rely on some micro here. Now, he does manage to clean out these rocks. He's already got the third base going down, so his Hellions will be quite distracted. But at the end of the day, he's got to realize that these Hellions are on the way. And did he ever make a Roach Warren or anything? I feel like he didn't, but here's the Queens at the high ground. Should be able to block this off quite easily at the last second as well. Zergling's going to come down here and engage, but really he's just got to use the Queens for that. And at this point, you just got to kind of give up some of these creep tumors. I mean, at this point, you already know that your opponent has heavily invested in the Hellion tech, and your base doesn't have any units down here, so that's going to be fine. And yeah, you just gotta wait till you get something out that's good versus the Hellions. If you try and run down there with a bunch of Lings, you are going to be having a very horrible Christmas, as you know, you're not going to be able to kill those off. Now, we do have Enduring Locust on the way, so I got to hand to Cella trying to make the new unit work. But we haven't really seen a lot of Zerg use that. Just because it's not that great of a unit, to be honest. I mean, at the high level play, it's not that good. Low level play can be fun in team games and stuff like that, but I haven't seen a lot of players be able to effectively use it. And I think he is actually going to lose this hatchery, which is very uncommon to be losing a hatchery to Hellions. But when there's this many and you're unable to scout them, then this is exactly what can happen. And unfortunately, I don't think he has anything to even intercept these guys. May be able to use one Swarm Host right here. It's going to pop out a couple units, but these Hellions are going to safely escape. But there is the Zergling run by. Unfortunately, not enough to do a lot of damage. What he could do is force the lift off down here, kill off 2 SCVs, and try and catch back up. Here come the Lings through the center, and they will manage to take out a couple Hellions, but he is forced to retreat there. Only 2 Zerglings able to survive that. So these Blue Flame Hellions being surprisingly effective. And those are not a fun stocking stuffer. They will set your kids on fire, as we do have the Infestors on the way, which for the sake of it being a holiday cast, the Infestors are going to be Santa Claus's reindeer. They're going to go along with the Flying Overlord, so he's going to just tie those to his Overlord sleigh and ride them all the way. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Grandma got hit by a reindeer, etc. As we do have now more upgrades on the way. The consistent scans there, deciding to do that instead of going for a lot of mules there. So an interesting choice. Does look at the Hellions got to try and get after. His siege mode even done. This is kind of a bit of a risk. These Queens got to be able to hold their own for a while. Nice transfuse on the Swarm Host there. So these Locusts actually able to hold this off, killing off several of those Hellions, although still hasn't lost that much in this game considering he has killed off a hatchery. I think Cella's going to have to double expand. Nice! I just noticed this. Taking down these rocks here. And the rest of the Link should probably help clean that out so we can double expand to try and get back in this. Oh, look at the little changeling. God, they look so weird. I've never seen them just sit there like that. He's just hanging out, being a total disgusting blob. And that's what they look like. Never realized they actually look so terrifying in the little avatar picture. But the siege tanks now ready to go. Siege mode should be on the way, right? I mean, that's something you would expect to eventually get if you're going to have this many tanks, unless he just wants to 1A his way to victory without using siege or anything like that. Now, we do have 6 gas for our Terran player. This is a surprising amount of gas, and also surprising is that he's getting 4 reactors here when he has this much gas. So if he's only using 2 tech labs, he's going to have a surplus of gas right now. So I'm kind of curious to see exactly how he spins that. Zerglings down here are going to get the counterattack off and actually do quite a bit of damage to these SCVs. He's actually at the perfect spot to hold position these Zerglings too. Notice how he's hold positioning them, and if you're wondering what that is, it's so they attack whatever's closest to them, as opposed to whatever's attacking them. Because if you just have them on the attack command, they will go and attack the Marine siege tanks and things like that, when really what you want to be killing off is those SCVs. It does look like the Lings will go ahead and clean out these rocks finally. But remember, Cella is way behind on when he wants to get up this 4th base. I mean, 14 minutes, that's definitely not the ideal time. And the changing right here is, God, they're so gross looking. Ew, 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 just hanging out right there, and he goes hides in his little home. Pretty disgusting. And I feel like whoever animated the changeling sitting there doesn't get enough credit, because you never get to see them. He's even turning around. Ew, that's so gross. Giving me those chills, man. But either way, we do have quite a few of the Hellbats. Siege mode still not done. I honestly think he's just not even trying to get siege mode, and he's just saving the money to go for more siege tanks, because he's doing a good... Oh, I guess right when I said that he started siege mode. But it does like the infestors right here. The reindeer got to be throwing out their fungals. Are they going to be able to do a lot of damage with it, though? It looks like, yeah, Santa came tonight, and he got you a lump of coal. Unfortunately, though, the units are going to get taken out. Oh, whiffs the fungal right there. That shows you the new projectile speed can still be whiffed there. And no matter how good you are, you know, sometimes you're just going to miss those fungals. That's something he's going to have to pay attention to. Now, we do have 5 swarm hosts on the way, a lot of Zerglings as well. And we also have still the attack upgrade for ranged and melee is on the way. So right now, his armor upgrade, you know, you don't see +3 on the way, but you do see 2/2 across the board. So the swarm hosts and the Zerglings are going to be relatively effective. And it actually might force the retreat here just with 4 Zerglings. Oh, that's so frustrating. Could have had it walled off as well, but 1 or 2 depots have been missing. And these SCVs are forced to try to clean this up on their own, but the Lings are going to just be distraction for as long as possible. Because notice what Cella's doing here. He's trying to go for the Castillas. Let me click on it. So this is the one building I still have to try and find on my own. Come on, where's it at? Where's that? There it is right there. So he does have the Greater Spire on the way. And, you know, the fact that he got this army out of position is going to give him additional time to almost complete that Greater Spire. Not that Kim or Dan or Jinwon or whatever you want to kill him. Not that he was going to necessarily attack, especially since his siege mode just now finished. But either way, this is exactly what Cella wanted. You also need time to get up this 4th base. Might even need time to get up a 5th base, because as you can see, his supply is way, way, way behind of where he would like to be. Now, he does have some high-tech units, which is kind of nice for him, but at the end of the day, he's spending a lot of money on high-tech units. He's got to be very careful here. Could get some fatty fungals right here, though. The Infestor Reindeer are ready to go. They're going to lob it out. There's the split on the units. Not nearly good enough, though, and does look like the fungals will hit. But the medevacs are going to heal through this quite easily. No, a lot of Marines actually got taken out here, so a massive amount of Zerglings could kind of turn the tide of the battle, but the Greater Spire now done. The Corruptor's on the way. There's those Zerglings we were talking about. Cella, I think, has managed to do enough damage here to make these siege tanks feel very vulnerable and exposed, as, you know, a couple of good fungals will clean out the rest of the anti-air, which means just a couple of Broodlords could clean this up. But I don't know if it's going to be enough here. The siege tanks are now in position, and there's a lot of money left over for Dan, so he could be making quite a few units here to reinforce this. You can see him kind of rallying outside the front of his base. And, oh, the Corruptors needs to save those so badly. Down. Oh, he does manage to save that one right there. 10 HP remaining on that Corruptor. And what do we have going on up here? He does drop in the main base. Looks like the Spore Crawler will be able to kill off the medevacs here. But other than that, Cella's crumbling a little bit under this pressure. He doesn't really have a whole lot left. He does have a lot of money, so making some stuff will help him clean this up. And up that drop relatively nicely. The push at the front, maybe a little overextendy. That's what we'll call it, overextendy, as there's only siege tanks remaining, but unfortunately no Broodlord. Oh, one Broodlord, excuse me. So he's going to work on these tanks, and we'll actually be able to kill several of these, because look, they're very low on HP, and the splash damage is actually going to be absurd here on these Broodlings. Look at him, he's killing like 1 tank per shot of Broodling, and this Broodlord, it says 0 kills, but he's actually got a ridiculous amount, and the Infested Terrans could take this out. So Cella going to be able to barely hang on and be cost effective here at the end of this battle. You can see it has evened up substantially. Oh, he's got to watch out for the fungals. Does manage to hit about half of them. Again, this Broodlord just being ridiculous with the splash damage here. You'll see just over and over. Oh my God, see that piece of the Marine just fly so far. Yes, very, very nice here on the Broodlords. He needs to get out a couple more, though, because there's really no anti-air right now. There will be Vikings relatively soon, but the Broodlords just need to keep lobbing on down. God, those corpses fly so far when they get shot by siege tanks. So Cella did get contained here. He was unable to clean out the rest of these tanks, which is really going to end up costing him here. Because remember, he's only on 3 bases right now, and is only mining essentially on, I would say on 1. But I guess if you add this and his main base together, it kind of feels like 2 bases. Those Marines right there, notice how they're in a line right there so that the fungals aren't going to be that effective. And he's going to run into the main base, taking out the drones on the gas, which is especially important. And looks like the Zerglings actually will be able to clean these up. Maybe those Marines looking pretty powerful. What's their upgrades? They are at 2-2. 3-3 is on the way, but still not enough Broodlords here. Are there any Broodlords right now? There are 3, but where are they? I don't quite see them, so let's find them by clicking on them. Ah, they're down. They're moving down from the expansion and might actually be able to break this, but you know, if he doesn't do something about these Vikings and do something fast, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, at this point, I feel like Swarm Host might be useful to try and break this, just to absorb some of those siege tank shots. But at the end of the day, Cella might be able to break this. But if he loses this expansion, that is going to be it. There are a couple Zerglings down here. The Queens, though, really need to focus on the medevacs. He does manage to get them, barely maybe. Going to be able to hold on here if he can get a couple more units. And he does manage to hold on there. The Broodlord's going to try and move out here. And I think he might actually be able to do it. Oh, so many tanks get taken out from that splash damage. Absolutely absurd. Now, Cella needs to use all this money he's found himself stockpiling during this, and hopefully for his sake, he does have a couple of infestors to lob out the fungals on these Marines, and there's the stem on the Marines. They've already stemmed once to get to the battle quickly. The Broodlords get taken out. Oh, this guy still survives somehow, but you use too many stems, you're going to get owned by fungals. A couple of swings going to chase this down. Cella has done it. He's managed to break the contain, but at the same time, his opponent has been expanding on the back of this double expansion to be exact. So I don't know if he's going to have the economy to follow this up. Cella has got to throw down double. Well, I guess he did manage to hang on to this base, so not all is lost. But I think what he needs to do is expand right here and then maybe expand over here. I don't know actually where the best spot to expand in this situation is. The Zergling's going to run up here. Will be able to force the cancel on this, and that's a nice little victory there. Forces the lift off, but if only he would have ran down here. That would have been absolutely huge, but I don't think he knows about that expansion. No, he does not. If he does spot it, though, while this army's out of position, oh, come on, Zerglings, you can do it. You can do it, Zerglings, if he can actually get down there. That's going to be huge. Huge, because there's no defense here. All of these SCVs would die. Plus, he could kill that rock tower, and then the Terran would have to expand down here, but he hasn't even cleaned out his own rocks yet. Oh, if only Cella knew about this expansion right there. He would be in great, great shape. But for now, Dan going to be sitting relatively pretty. He's at 200 supply. Don't count out a Zerg player just yet, though. With some pretty good fungals and the Broodlord count being relatively high, he can make things happen. And, you know, honestly, mixing in some roaches right now might not be that bad of a choice, because there is a lot of tanks, but there's also a lot of Marines. 3 of those are changelings, by the way, that are watching this army. Now, he's got to wonder, you know, where are all these units coming from? If only he would scout here. Now, if you're wondering why he's not scouting there, I think he's thrown off by the fact that there's no base here, and so he's assuming that he's way, way ahead. But he is not. The fungals on the medevacs doing relatively good damage, but at the same time, I don't know if the Broodlords are going to be enough here. The infestors have got to hold the line with fungal growths alone, and he's trying to cast it here as good as he can. Looks like the Broodlords going to hold their own for quite some time. The infested Terrans there to absorb a lot of damage, but you know, the only anti-air is those infestors, and they just all got taken out. So the Broodlords are going to get taken out here. I do believe Cella, this is going to be it for him. He doesn't have enough here to really hold his own. He's still got the infestors, yes, and infestors are so good. You can see the amount of kills that infestors tend to get: 18, 17, 15. Just so many kills there. But without the counterattack on the expansion, the economy is going to keep on rolling through, and it does look like Cella on this Thanksgiving is not going to be taking a victory. But either way, a very fun game to watch indeed on this fine day. I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday. If you're watching this after the holiday, then I hope you had a wonderful holiday. If you're watching this a year from now, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday. All right, so it looks like the infestors, I mean, they don't even have enough for fungal growth at this point, so I don't think they're going to be able to land those hits. And a lot of SCVs will get taken out here. The counterattack going to be successful. Going to force the cancel here. Does kill off some workers, but again, this base right here, this is the breadwinner. That's the prized possession of his. And Cella just unfortunately cannot win with this many Zerglings. I mean, yes, he's got a lot. Yes, he could do some massive damage. Might even be able to get into the expansion down here. But at the end of the day, you got to kill the army at some point. And unfortunately for him, that's not going to happen. Oh, even the Manor Mules. this is what he got him for Christmas, is a bunch of mules dropped right into your base. And not quite sure what he's saying there. Hopefully something polite, and the Zerglings will be able to kill off the reinforcements. But unfortunately, this army does not need to be reinforced. This is like the American military, man. We don't need more units at this point. So he will be able to kill off those reinforcements. That doesn't really matter. And, I mean, it shows you how good Zerglings can be if left unchecked by reinforcements. But, yep, cleaning those up. Done and done. And at this point, I mean, Cella has a lot of money, but he has no bases. He's got no hope of, I mean, he might even be able to break into this expansion. Killing some supply depots is going to make him feel good, but unfortunately, you can't. There's the GG. You can't win with just this many Zerglings. And the Marines down there, we're going to clean that out, I think, before they could even do any sort of economic harass there. So anyways, more of a casual cast. Hope you guys enjoyed, and of course, I'll see you guys next time. Woot woot.